Let me fix this real quick. All right. What's good? My name is Elijah Marsden. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do the podcast setup with HCLF equipment. Let's go. All right. Let's start off with the equipment. What equipment does HCLF have? So let's start off right here. Listening at DJI mics, twos. That's actually what you're hearing. We got what I like to call the broadcasting mic. It's not a real mic. You put the mics inside here and then it looks a little more professional. But I'm going to be telling you guys when you got to use it and when you don't. We got what we call a sort of shotgun mic. This is what you put on top of a camera to capture basically everyone talking in the room through one singular mic. And again, we got two different mics. We got mics that you'll clip on, and we got shotgun mics. I'm going to tell you guys the difference and when to use them as well. And the last thing, we got the Sony ZV-E10 II. This is the main camera that you guys are going to be using to shooting all different angles and possibly two in the later future. So we're going to get into it. So let's start off with the camera. All right, so now that I've introduced myself, let me tell you guys what you guys are going to learn in this video. You guys are going to be learning about this, and this. We're going to have a bonus round because we can't fit everything in a 5-minute video, but I'll try my best. So without further ado, let's start off with the mics. And we got the mics. So let me tell you guys what mics you guys are going to be using. You guys are going to be using the DJI mic minis. This is the mic 2s, but same principle. And the Rode shotgun mic. Let me tell you guys the difference. These kind of mics you use as clip-on. Let me show you. You're going to be using them to put on a shirt, hold it in your hand. And when you hold it in your hand and you're in wind, it also comes with some wind mufflers. Looks like the hat of one of those English guards from the UK. You plug it in and boom. This is going to help a lot with wind. Second of all, you're going to get the actual case. This is the carrying pouch, and this is the actual case. This is what you use to charge all the mics as well. So make sure once you're done, please put them back in the case, just like this. Make sure you take this off because it won't close with it. Inside of this, you'll get the receiver. This is what receives all the audio signals from the smaller mics. And you'll get some adapters, like this USB-C one. Put it into a phone or even put it into a computer. You turn on the receiver as of this. As you can see, it'll light up. And as you can see, it's already connected to this mic. As you can see, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Pretty simple, right? You'll then take this cable that's also in the pouch. This is an aux cable. Make sure it has 2 stripes, not 3. You'll want to plug it in the red port. The reason I'm telling you not to plug it into the gray port, that port you'll use any headphones, normal headphones, not AirPods. You'll use your normal headphones, plug it inside there, and then you can monitor all of the mics in one place. You put it in the red one to go to the mic and also to go to the camera. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys and show you guys how to use that in just a few. And this one is pretty simple. It has a squared off foot. This one also has one. We call that a hot shoe mount. You put it on top of the camera or on top of something that has this port, and you plug it directly into your camera. Keep in mind, this is only for camera. This will not work on a phone or iPhone. It wouldn't work at all. This you'll use when you're in a vlogging type of style. So when you're walking around, talking to people, talking to multiple people, this is going to come in handy because you won't have to always go to them like, hello, how are you? Stuff like that. It's much easier just having this. However, there is a better option, and I'll show you guys in just a few. So now let's clear it up and let's bring in the camera for me to show you guys how it works. All right, so we got the Sony ZV-E10. This is the main camera that you guys are going to be using in this podcast, and it's one of the easiest cameras in the world to use. Let me show you how. Come a little closer. So first of all, you're going to see there's an on and off switch. You'll turn it on. You can see it'll extend, and there will be stuff on the screen. In this case, I have the lens cap, so now you could actually see myself. Selfie. Anyway, so this is how you'll use it. There's 3 modes, technically 2, but let me show you why. As you can see here, there's a camera icon, a video icon, and an SNQ mode. What you guys are going to be using for this podcast, you're going to be using it in the video mode. So as you can see on the screen, we're currently in camera mode. You can see that top left. If I press it one more time, it's going to go into video mode, and this is the mode that you guys are going to be using. Keep in mind, it always resets, so whenever you turn on the camera, please double check that you guys are indeed in the video mode. For as far as settings, you're gonna have ISO, you're gonna have exposure and all of that, but let me tell you the easiest thing about this camera, it does it all for you. So all you just gotta do is point it at the subject, in this case, myself. And as you can see on the screen, it's fully calibrated. You don't gotta worry about doing anything, and that's the beauty of this camera. It does everything for you. You don't barely gotta do and touch a button. But if you do, let me tell you what the buttons are real quick. You got the display, the ISO. This is how you'll fix the ISO. As you can see, it's on auto, but for some reason, if you have to change it, you can. But we're gonna always leave it on auto. Then right here, you got the OK button. That's just to lock it in. Right here, you got a video icon, you could say. That's a check that you actually did record the video. You don't want to set it up and then you forget to press record. And talking about that, how you know you record and how to record, there's this red ring on this button right here. You press it in once, you'll hear an audio, and you'll see that there's a red line around the whole screen. That's when you know you're recording. Going back here, there's a trash can. If you go inside the video, this is the one that I just shot. You could click the trash can icon, go up, click delete, and that's how you remove any unwanted files. Now keep in mind, only do that if you're 100% sure that you're not going to be using that clip. So on to the next. And we're back. Let me show you guys how to connect the DJI mics to the Sony camera. Very simple. You're going to take the receiver. You're going to see that there's a squared off foot. What you want to do is point it in the front and then point the screen towards you. So make sure that the person in front of you can read DJI. You're gonna then put it right here. As you can see that there's a gap, that's exactly where the squared off foot is gonna go. You're gonna slide it in, slide it all the way to the back, and it shouldn't come off. You're then gonna take the aux that I was talking to you about. You're gonna plug one side into the orange port on the receiver. And then right beneath the buckle, there's a mic icon. You want to lift that up and you're going to be met with a red port. That's exactly where you're going to put the other side of the aux port. Right now we are again in video mode, and you can see that there's waveforms moving up and down. That is the mic that you're currently listening to, and also this mic. For any reason that it's not on, there's an on button right here on the transmitter. I'm gonna hold it for like 2 seconds. You're gonna see a green light. The green light means that it's connected to the receiver. Blue means it's connected to Bluetooth, and red means it's going to die. In other words, it's gonna die. Pretty simple. All right, so as you can see here, let me talk into the mic right here. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Everything seems to be working perfectly fine. Now, if you're probably worried that the audio might be too loud, don't worry. This receiver has a setting. You'll swipe up. You'll go into receiver settings. You're going to scroll with the dial to recommended camera settings. You're going to go to brand, choose Sony, and model Sony ZV-E10. And then you're all set to go. So now, let's go on to the next topic, angles. We'll be right back after this. All right, so let me show you guys angles. So we got a different camera, but trust me, it's the same process for the next. You guys are gonna be using a tripod. Then let me show you. It has 3 legs, different modes. You set it to whichever height you want, but in this case, I actually gotta lower it. So let's speed up this process and let's take it down. So I think that's gonna be the adequate height. You obviously don't want it to be too low or too high, and you just gotta point it at your subject. but there's a lot that's gonna happen behind the scenes. So let me show you guys. And just like that, we are behind the scenes where test subject Nikwan, say hi. So basically, we got different angles that you guys can use. This is what we call the dead-on angle. As you guys can see, the camera is positioned directly in front of Nikwan. And as you can notice, the camera is not at the table's height. If you look at it good, it's actually pointing a little bit down. That's to create a sort of top-down view showing Nikwan's whole physique and also showing the tables for hand movement. As you can see, you don't want to go all the way to the front and have him positioned so close to the camera because you want some headroom. In this case, we could actually go a little closer. So we're just going to zoom in a little more and have him just like that. So that is one angle. Let me show you the next one. And this is the second angle. As you guys can see, it's more off to the side. However, this angle you're going to be using if you have more than one camera. The reason for that is because you don't want to be having Nikwan talking to there and the camera is pointed to the side. You always want to have the camera pointed directly to the person unless you have two cameras. So in this case, you could have one camera pointing right here, or you could have one camera pointing right here. You could even do it for the same side right here. Obviously, with multiple subjects, you're going to have one camera position right here. You're going to have one camera position right here for the second person. So that person is going to be over there. And for the third person, you're going to have them positioned right there with the camera being right here. Keep in mind, all of these tripods have a gauge. It allows you to see if it's level. You could kind of see it here, but if you see that the bubble is in the middle of the red ring, that means that it is level. Make sure that when you're recording, your camera is level, that it isn't looking like that, but more of something like this. On to the next. Now, this time we're going to talk about lighting. Trust me, you don't always have the opportunity to be using standalone lights to get different things on your subject. However, you can see in this picture, it is super dark. So what we're going to do, we're going to do this. As you can see, it's a lot brighter. However, this is more manageable. You could turn down the brightness in the editing software or even on the camera like this. So, like you guys just saw, that was all this podcast setup that we have for today. We went over camera use, camera equipment, mics, and a little bit of angle. Let me show you guys the bonus round. The bonus round is this. You guys remember when I told you guys you have the shotgun mic for when you're basically interviewing more than one person? However, if you have a host, this is the easiest and best way to have it. You don't just want to have someone holding the transmitter right here and then going, it looks a little bit off. So having something like this looks a lot more professional and you'll get a lot more information out of someone because they're like, hey, you guys are professional. And that's what we're all here about. Having professional equipment that isn't overpriced and that is easy to use. So let me show you guys how it works. You're gonna first take off the muffler. You're gonna find something that looks like a fork. You're gonna take the receiver. The receiver has a clip, same clip we used to clip it on a shirt. You're gonna put it right in the back of this, slide it in. But as you can see, it's stuck. The reason it's stuck is because it has the magnet. So what you wanna do, take it off, store it away in the travel case so you won't forget it or misplace it, and then just push it down. As you can see, it's all the way down. That's not going nowhere. If you even want to be more secure and even have better audio, if you're outside with a lot of wind, you take one of those caps, you put it on, and you put this over it. And boom, you got yourself a broadcasting mic that is ready for any sort of events. So that was the bonus round. Any question, don't hesitate to ask Kayla or myself, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.